It's Happy Hour again from Central City, New Orleans. Hello, I'm Grant Morris. Happy Hour is part of the family of shows on the podcast network. It's neworleans.com. When you walk into a bar in New Orleans and you pull up a bar stool, you never know who's going to be sitting next to you on either side of you. What you do know is no matter what they look like, what they're wearing, whether they just got out of a limo or out of jail, they're going to be happy to talk to you, because that's New Orleans, and this is Happy Hour, a cocktail-fueled 60 minutes of random conversation with folks who have nothing in common, other than we're all New Orleanians in a bar. In this case, Casa Borrega on Aretha Castle Haley Boulevard in Central City, New Orleans. Casa Borrega is a bar, it's a restaurant, and it's a live music venue as well. In fact, if you're listening to this before Saturday the 14th of December, is that the correct date? It's going to be the Latin Jazz Festival that's taking place here at Casa Borrega. But right now, it's Happy Hour. My guests sitting around the table here in this order are Jeremy J.F. Thompson. Hello, Jeremy.
Hello.
Hello. And now, I told you earlier, right into that cheapo microphone.
All right.
Good man. Jeremy J.F. Why is it J.F., by the way, before we get any further? Is that your name, or is that what we're supposed to call
They're
you?
just initials, you know. They just put letters between two other words, and they call them initials.
They do.
Is that good?
So JF, is JF short for Jeremy F. Thompson?
No.
Or that's J, you have two middle names.
Are you asking me what my initials mean?
What they mean?
James Foxtrot.
James Foxtrot.
Yeah.
Are you kidding?
No.
Oh, come on.
I could come
It's
up with
like-
a better joke than that. Come on.
Could you? Do you have one? What is J in the, you know, the alphabet when they go Alpha, Bravo, Charlie, Delta, what is J?
That's a great question.
Anyone know? Andrew, do you happen to know that?
No.
Is it James?
It could be.
Is it James?
I don't think
Foxtrot?
so.
What could it be, I wonder? J. Someone's going to know that. Chris, how can you not know that, for God's sakes? Anyway, let me get on here. Jeremy J.F. Thompson is the founder of Open House New Orleans, a media development, marketing, hospitality, programming, graphic design, and event production agency. You must be a busy guy.
Not today, but yeah.
Yeah. Dedicated to working with business, brands, and organizations that operate in New Orleans. Jeremy is also the founder of the New Orleans Daiquiri Festival. Congratulations. Good job.
You, yeah.
Now in its third year, the New Orleans Daiquiri Festival is the fastest growing festival in southern Louisiana. Really? Who says that?
Everybody says.
Does everyone knows that? It's just is it anecdotal, or is it statistically correct?
It is statistically correct.
It is?
Yeah.
Okay. Where do we find the statistics to back that up?
You have to call him mayor.
Mitch Landrew?
Yeah.
Okay, we'll put in a call to him. Where am I up to? Jeremy is also the founder, along with Defend New Orleans, of Defend the Daiquiri campaign, a campaign aimed at preserving and celebrating daiquiri shop culture, that's a funny sentence, and the right to drink outdoors. Yes. Good man. Thank you on behalf of everybody in New Orleans. I think you deserve a round of applause off the bat. Good man.
Making me blush.
Thanks very much. Elizabeth Bates is here as well. Hi, Elizabeth.
Hi.
Hi. Elizabeth moved back to New Orleans in July of 2013 to be a part of Idea Village's Idea Accelerator program for new businesses. Elizabeth, who is 5 feet tall. Congratulations.
Thank you.
That's fantastic news. Are you exactly 5 feet?
Ooh, 5 feet and a quarter.
5 feet?
Technically.
5 feet and 1/4 inch.
Yes.
How long did you get to, where were you when you got to 5 feet? Like 12 or something?
When she hit puberty.
Yeah, no, when did you get 5 feet?
And then I shot up another quarter.
Do you know when you hit 5 feet though?
Probably about 13.
13. So you've been the same height since you were 13. Andrew, what do you think?
Yes.
You didn't reach this height at 13, did you?
No.
So most people keep growing past 13, right, Elizabeth? Were you shocked when you got to 5 feet and stopped?
A little bit.
It's turned you into a sort of a mogul, though, which is the good news, right?
Yes, I'm
So
trying to
thank
make the most
God
of it.
for that. Let's
Right.
go on. 5 feet tall is the founder of the petiteshop.com, you see?
Cool.
Thank you.
That's making sense.
The very first e-commerce site dedicated exclusively to petite clothing for women 5'4" and under. How'd you get to 5'4"? Why not 5'3" and under?
Well, the majority of clothing is made for women who are between about 5'5" and 5'9".
I
That's
see.
typically what designers use to fit their patterns.
Really? 5'5" to 5'9", is that what most people are?
You should have
Most
one
women.
of the roller coaster people outside that says you must be this small to ride. You know?
Good idea.
You know?
Andrew, did you know that over 47% of American women are petite?
40 what?
7, it says here.
47,
Did you
okay.
know that only over 47% of
What classifies petite?
yet only a small fraction of clothing is designed to fit them?
Okay.
5'4" and under.
5'4" and under, right?
Is that petite, or is that your definition of petite? Your definition is 5 feet.
This is not a Mitch Landry
I am
question,
5
think.
feet, but the definition of
petite
is
is
either. Some people say 5'3", some people say 5'4".
Okay, so if this is true, where do I get a figure? Who gave me this? 47%.
The United States Census.
The United States Census says that 47% of women are 5'4" and under.
True story.
Wow. So why are you the first person in the entire world to have come up with the idea of selling clothes to of almost half of the female population of the United States?
That's what I was wondering, and that's why I did it. But
why would it be?
petite clothing has had a negative stigma for a long time.
Is it?
It kind of essentially first came to be in the 80s, but it's square grandma clothes, as I call them.
Really?
Yes.
That doesn't make any sense.
They're
Let me
Is that
just
like Ann Taylor? Would that be?
Yeah, this is Miss Mac, the other voice you're hearing here. Let me
The
just
other
introduce Miss
petite,
Mac, and
the
then we'll
other
get on with it.
petite.
This
Yes,
is Miss
ma'am.
Mac, who's sitting across from me, who's the singer-songwriter from here in New Orleans. He's the lead singer of a band called Strange Roux, R-O-U-X, and has been on our show before, actually. And then the last time she was supposed to be on our show, just never showed up.
Just never showed up.
Just never showed up.
Never showed up.
Just never
yeah.
showed up. We
Just
sat here and said,
slept
"Do you
right
remember
through
this?"
that.
You can't trust the
What happened to Miss Mac? You slept through it. Is that what it was?
Slept right through that.
No, seriously. Did you really?
I did, unfortunately.
You slept right
I dreamed
through it.
about y'all
Really? What time did you go to bed that night?
that morning.
Morning.
Let's just say around 4, 5 a.m.
4 or 5 in the morning.
And they
Okay.
still invited you back.
And our show, for one, for anyone who's keeping score at home, our show starts at 4 p.m. in the afternoon. So you had 12 hours.
I had 12 hours,
to
but
sleep and get up. You must have
yeah,
been really drunk or fucked up on something. What was it?
it was a combination of things. Working long hours, playing a gig,
Right.
within that drinking and having to eat, and
No, awful. Do you have a manager or an alarm clock?
I don't actually. I don't have much technology in my house. I will have to say that.
Well, I know you don't have a heater, which is hard
Yeah,
to
right,
understand. We're just sitting here. We're all freezing our asses off here. It's winter in New Orleans when we're recording the show, and I'm wearing like 2 layers. How many? You've only got 1 layer
I got
on.
a couple.
You
I
got
a
2
t-shirt
layers.
and, yeah.
And
I'm
Elizabeth's
still
got
wearing my
a
jacket.
huge coat and jacket, and Miss Mac's sitting here in like bare shoulders.
I've been drinking rice milk since I got here.
We have
so
got an awesome cocktail, I must say. But
Spiked
anyway,
rice
so you
milk.
slept through the whole thing. You don't have an alarm clock. You don't have a manager. You don't have who booked that?
I know, right?
Who booked the gig for you? Who booked this gig?
Christian.
Christian. And you, personally.
Yes, through Facebook.
I see. Through Facebook. Okay, that's how you do it. All right.
Very
well, anyway, I'm
intimate.
glad you made it this time. Thank God you had a good night's sleep. And you look fabulous, too.
Thank you.
You really do.
Thank you for asking me back,
Well,
Christian.
yeah, Christian did. I said.
Yeah,
I
you
said,
did, and you were like,
I said, no, if she doesn't show up, we're not having her back. She doesn't need us badly enough, obviously. But I'm glad you came back because it's good to see you again. And your hair looks amazing.
Thank you. I used a sock.
A sock is in it.
Yes, do you want to touch it?
Yes.
It's kind of...
Where is it? The sock, I mean, not the hair.
It's under the hair.
How do you do that? So anyway, if you just describe this, I know this is an audio
So I
show.
YouTubed it.
YouTubed
I
it.
YouTubed it.
If you want to see what this looks like, have a look on our website. You'll see a photo. We'll put a photo up there and also on
Can
our
you...
Facebook
Is this
page.
in the...
You, no,
You
it
can
looks
see it,
it looks
yeah.
gorgeous. So it's all piled up on top of your head and wrapped in a... So what does YouTube tell you to do? Put
well,
a
they
sock
tell
on your
you
head?
to... Yeah, well, like, you kind of like have to get like a really thick wool sock and you brush it and you make it all...
You brush your sock.
You brush your sock. It's kind of entertaining. So, yeah, and then you know... and
Where
then
is the sock at this point? In your hand?
It's in my hand.
You're brushing it.
And I'm, you brush it and you kind of stretch it out and you make it not like a sock anymore.
What is it
And-
like?
Well, you just make it to where it has a lot of material. Like, you want to extract the material out of the sock.
You
So
wanna
it's not real
stretch-
tight.
what we call stretch. Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay, no problem. Yes, okay, so you
We're
stretch
stretching
it
the
so
sock.
it's unrecognizable now as a sock.
Right. And then, you can cut it open and then you wrap it around to make it really thick. And then from there, you pull your hair through the sock and you wrap it around like a bun. So it's an illusion.
I see.
My hair's
So
really not
it's
that
like
thick.
a tube. It forms like a tube.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, now I've got it. You want to try that, Jeremy?
Or
JF?
you'd be
I think
better
you
off.
would- yeah, I
I'm gonna
think
give
Grant would
I'm gonna
have
give it a go. Okay.
Enough
Well,
hair for
thanks for
that.
explaining that.
Yeah.
Anyway, where was I before that? Andrew was going to introduce.
You
Andrew
were-
Duhon is our happy hour troubadour who wanders
Hey.
around the world and then occasionally wanders back into
Yeah.
Castle Borrega High.
Hey, good to be back.
Good to see you again.
Yeah.
I haven't seen you for about, has it been a year?
No, I saw you last week.
I was last week.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Other than that, things are good?
Yeah, great.
All right. So listen, here we go. Jeremy JF. What do I call it? What do your friends call you?
Jeremy usually.
Jeremy.
Yep.
Okay, so forget the JF ever happened,
Let's do
right?
that, yep.
Just screw that,
I
right?
like that.
Okay, so how did you come up with the idea of saving because there was if you listen to the show outside of New Orleans, it might not quite understand how important it is to be able to drink constantly here outside.
They don't understand
on the
most
street.
things, yeah.
And we used to be able to drink in the car,
Right.
which was awesome.
We had a senator that argued we should be able to always drink in the car.
Well, I believe
in
that.
the Senate, yeah.
Don't you? He said that in the Senate.
Yeah.
Who was that?
You remember any senators' names? I don't.
He's probably being
No.
chauffeured around too, and he's like, "Yeah, I should always have a drink because I'm not driving."
But there's a difference between being drunk and drinking,
Yes.
isn't there? I mean, you're allowed to drive with a drink in your hand, but you're not allowed to be drunk, obviously. So
Well, not anymore.
now he can't do it at all.
No.
Sure, we were the last state in the union to ban out the open alcohol container
I
in a car.
believe we are, yeah.
I'm sure. Well, didn't they tell us they threatened to take all the federal funding away from the highways, which would be horrible because they're in such good condition now. Could you imagine what it would look like around here if we didn't have even that money?
Even now with the drive-through daiquiri shops and whatnot, there's actually a very specific stipulation. It has to be frozen. It has to be a frozen drink.
Huh.
It can't just be any drink. So if you were to go through a drive-through daiquiri shop and try to order, I don't know, a Cosmo or a Mojito.
Or some shots.
Or shots.
Can't be done.
I guess if you were in park and you took the shot there, that's a bigger debate. But if you were to go on the road with it, it has to be a frozen drink, which is kind of a unique stipulation. That probably has
Strange.
something to do with the money behind it.
Yeah.
Well, we should describe as well to people who are not familiar with what New Orleans looks like, if you haven't been listening to this outside of New Orleans, it's a drive-through bar, basically. You drive your car up to the window and they hand you a daiquiri, which can be up to what size? Like huge.
I'm not sure there's a
Like
limit
2
because you can
pints?
actually order gallons through the
Yeah, you
Right.
can get a gallon for sure.
And I believe the law is that the straw is not allowed to be in it. Is that right?
Yeah, they can't puncture the lid.
Unless, what happens when you get pulled over and you have been drinking it? As long as you take the straw out.
Well, they can
Before-
tell if it's been perforated or not, but
Oh,
you
they
could take
can.
the lid off.
Wow.
Well, that's illegal to take the lid off. Oh, they said take the
illegal,
lid
but-
off, and then when you
Yeah.
get pulled over, put the lid back on.
Yeah.
You could. And you'd
Oh,
be like, oh,
good
I
advice.
just asked for a half a daiquiri. You could say that.
You could. Okay.
Sure.
Is this your advice? You're not a lawyer, are you?
No, I'm a daiquiri legal consultant.
Okay. So you can get away with that. So you drive through the drive-through, you pick up your daiquiri, and you can't stick the straw through the hole anymore, which I didn't actually know that. But you can take the top off, put the straw, and then start drinking, as long as it's a frozen drink.
No, well, not in the car.
Not legally, but
legally.
who doesn't?
Well, sure, yeah. Well,
I mean, everyone does that, right?
I suppose you got good lawyers.
Do you
for
have
the
a
station?
car?
Like, I just say whatever I want.
You
or-
can say whatever you want. No, we don't
Okay,
have any
am I
lawyers.
representing you or me? Either
Me.
way.
You're representing me.
Perfect.
As
Then,
my
yeah, I would
attorney.
say drink it. Drink it right away.
Yeah, okay, right.
All of
Everyone, but
yeah.
everyone does, right? Nobody goes to a drive-through daiquiri to pick up a drink to take home.
Of course.
I
Do they?
suppose they do.
Who?
Well, I mean, there's a lot of people that actually have like traditions where on, say, Tuesday or Thursday, whatever, they have like couple night, or they go out to the Fly and they take their daiquiri. So they'll go through and they'll get a whole tray of daiquiris, for like their friends or their family, and then they'll go out somewhere like down to the river or whatnot, and they'll have their kind of tradition that they have.
I actually just keep in my center console a whole rack of untampered with tops, so I could just replace, when the cops
Okay,
come through.
that's a good idea right
Smart.
there.
Or you could just,
Good thinking.
skirt the whole thing, go through the top, and that styrofoam side's pretty easy to puncture too. So I just go through there.
There's no law about that.
Yeah, no, we
right?
debated this, the idea of trying to come up with a daiquiri tap.
Yeah,
So
totally.
you just put in the side of a styrofoam cup. It's got a little nozzle on it, and you can just tap it. Little cups.
And who debated that exactly? In the legislature?
Me and the interns I have.
I want to get a fresh fruit daiquiri. Where can we get a fresh fruit
That's a great
daiquiri
question,
that's
actually.
not in the hotel? Because all you can get is like the really, concentrated, sugary, thick.
I can give you 4 places off the top of my head to
Please.
get a fresh fruit daiquiri.
Go ahead.
The Saint.
Oh.
Yeah, they're gonna have
Not-
all kinds of stuff, and they're going the extra mile. They're like juicing cucumbers, and doing
Right.
all kinds of different things.
Wow.
Also, St. Lawrence.
Okay.
They inherited, when they bought out what used to be the harbor down on North Peters. They kept the daiquiri machines, and they make M's Cup daiquiris, and they make blueberry gin basil daiquiris. They top them with champagne sometimes. Booties in the Bywater has a variety of fresh daiquiris. They're always rotating, plus the Bywater bomber there, and then also kind of old school, been around for a while. The organic banana, even though they're using blenders.
In the French Quarter?
In the French market.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they have kind of terrible service.
Yeah.
But
and really high prices.
But if I had to use a blender all day, I'd be pretty pissed off.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you really know your daiquiris.
I do. I've put in a lot of time.
Yeah. How
I'm learning so much.
How did you? Let's talk about how you got
brain
into it in a
freeze
minute.
talking
but
about it.
Let's just take a break for 1 second and make Miss Mick play a song saying she's awake.
All right.
What are you thinking of playing for us here?
I'm going to play Sorrow and Pain. Ooh, doesn't that just go really good with a drink?
Yeah. Well, that's why we drink, isn't it?
Yeah.
Okay, can you do it with the headphone wires and all this
Yeah.
garbage here? All right.
I feel like if I scoot this closer.
Okay.
It's a cold, cold day when you're living in pain. There's no gain, no gain when you're living in pain. So say my name, wanna hear it again. 'Cause you speak so sweet when you talk to me. Yeah, you take away my ball and chain. You fade away my sorrow and pain. One step forward, two step backwards is what I am known to do. Yeah, so please stop asking me why you keep telling on me. Don't you know I got things to do? Like you take away my ball and chain. You fade away my sorrow and pain. It's a cold, cold world. It's a cold world. It's a cold, cold world. It's a cold world.
Yes. I'm almost prepared to forgive you for last time after that. In fact, I will. I'll never bring it up again. Beautiful, Sorrow and Pain, Miss Mick, spelled M-E-C, if anyone's listening to this
Yeah,
and wants to
no,
find
they're initials.
you. Where do we find you on the internet? MissMick.com?
No, actually, Facebook works for me right now. And then from the Miss Mick on Facebook, it will link you to my .com, which is the other projects that I work on, which, again, is the Strange Thru is the main band that I've been playing out with right now.
Okay. But if anyone wants to find some stuff and steal it, they can find Miss Mick on Facebook and then figure it out from there.
Right, as long as they,
All right.
contribute me as the writer or whatever, they're like shouting out to Mac this wonderful song. Yeah, go ahead, use it.
No, I don't mean steal it in the sense of steal the song. I mean steal it so they can play it at home on their,
Oh, absolutely, yes, you can download
iPod.
some stuff from the Facebook.
Okay. The Facebook it is. Good. Okay. M-E-C is the spelling of Miss Mick if you listen to this. Okay, Elizabeth, tell us all about it. What gave you the idea, other than being short yourself and figuring out that you couldn't find any clothes to buy anywhere, I assume?
Well, I think you just said it.
That's what it was? You went shopping? Along with
I've-
47% of American women.
Right.
Where are the rest of them buying this stuff from?
Thrift stores.
Thrift?
Oh, well, there's an answer. There are a couple of chain stores that do sell petite clothing, but it's typically pretty limited, so they only do a couple of their styles in petite sizes. And sometimes, you want something a little bit different, and you don't want to show up in the same thing that your coworker in the cubicle one row over is wearing. So
Does that happen frequently? I guess if you're short, there's a greater
can-
possibility.
Y'all both bought the same thing on the mannequin.
Yes. There are some stores, I won't name names, but
You can name them. It's okay. No one listens to the show at all.
perfect. So let's say you go to Banana Republic and they have, 5 dresses, and typically they focus on work attire.
Yeah.
All the chain stores, that's the majority of what they have. And so
People
my
buy
goal,
their work clothes at Banana Republic.
Yep. It's pretty
Especially-
boring.
I guess if we had a job, we might know something about that, Andrew. Yeah. Right. Yes.
If only.
So you go to Banana. I'm sorry to interrupt you. So you go there and there's only like 5 things to choose from. And they're
It's
all,
limited.
it's limited, yes.
And so my intention was I spent about 10 months traveling to apparel trade shows around the United States and just hit the pavement. And I asked every single vendor and designer at these shows, do you have petite items? And most of the time I heard no. And every once in a while I heard yes, or we could do that for you. So that's what I focused on, just finding some items that were more unique and fashion forward for kind of the 25 to 44 age range.
So people have done this for large sizes, I've seen, right? There's probably you think there's a lot more fat people than little people, right?
Especially in America. Yeah,
That's what I'm talking about. You'd think that.
Yeah.
That would be a better market, giant people. Because I've seen a couple of stores in New Orleans alone that have like fashion for fat women. I don't think they're called that, but that's what.
Voluptuous
Plus
and
size.
Yeah, something larger sizes or a big beautiful woman or something like that. But that's what it is, right? It's a larger size. It's not women who are tall and Amazonian. It's people who are giantly overweight.
Right, plus size.
Right, but you can't get small by not eating.
Well, and there's a common misconception that petite is just short and skinny, or really skinny.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
you can be petite
But
with.
you can be petite and you can,
What is that international symbol? Giant breasts.
Yes.
You
Yes.
can be petite with giant breasts.
Yes.
Is that common?
And a big booty.
Really?
you can. So, for example, on my site, I have from size 000 up to size 16, and there are petite plus sizes.
Hang
So
on. Wait up. 000. What does that look like? Like a
very small.
little toy thing.
Well, there are a lot
like a
of
doll.
adult women who are petite who end up shopping in the kids section, which is just
Okay.
They end up
that's
having
good
stars on their
concept.
butts.
exactly.
Stars
You
on the
don't need
butts.
to wear cartoon
Where
characters
like
when you're
young girls have like the sayings.
We'll have
on
words
their-
like cheer or something.
Pink.
Yeah.
Pink's good.
Yeah.
Why do people have pink
Yes.
on their butt?
I don't know. I hate that color. Well, no, not.
No, I
this
mean the
is
word.
not-
I mean not pink, the color. You hate pink as a
I
color?
don't. I hate. I hate like flamingo pink, which
Flam-
is more
Pink.
Yeah, it's not as red.
Right, because you're trying to take your foot out of your mouth. Because that's not pink. That's purple. That
Yeah,
Elizabeth's
this
wearing.
is not.
It's-
This
Yeah.
is not.
It's more like a crushed berry.
It is.
to
It
be
is.
fair.
I would. Yeah, berry is definitely.
Is that a petite size jacket
Yes, it is.
specifically?
Yes.
Like it would look strange on a 5,
You should try it on.
6.
You
What?
are welcome to try it.
And
Yeah, we can do some.
But the
trying.
only difference we're talking about, because it was curious to me that you said you went to these designers and they just said no. It's just a measurement thing, right? It's like, oh, let's run a couple in this measurement. Why not?
It's a whole new pattern, and
Yeah.
I think the mindset is it's a lot easier to make things smaller than it is to make them bigger. So a lot of petite women have just accepted the fact that they have to take things to the tailor and get, the sleeves shortened and the hem shortened, but we're spending an additional, $10 to $40 for each item of clothing that we've
Yeah.
bought in order to get it altered to actually fit us.
Right.
Or you have a grandma that sews really good.
Yeah. Grandma for
That would
petite
be
girls is
Granny.
good.
bonus.
Okay, so Elizabeth, you don't have a store though. You have an e-commerce site only.
It is all online, but we're based here in New Orleans.
That is cool.
What's it called?
Thepetiteshop.com.
thepetiteshop.com. That's French, right?
No.
So can you take home clothes, and if it doesn't fit, you could send it back?
So you can.
Is that crazy?
No, that's what people
Because I
do.
feel like
right?
if I shop online, I'm like, well, what if I get it and then I don't like it?
It's like
Can I
Zappos.
return this?
Zappos.com.
We have free
anything.
shipping and easy returns.
Okay,
And if
cool.
you're here in New Orleans, I do have trunk shows periodically. So
Wait, did you
That's
say
the
you
thing.
do or do not have? Are you looking for a storefront? Are you looking for a storefront? Or you
no,
do?
sir. We're just keeping
Why,
it
Jeremy?
online.
You got an idea?
This is what I do.
What do you do?
I think I came up with harebrained stuff like Daiquiri Festivals.
Yeah. Wait, are you like a realtor as well?
No, that'd be great. I wouldn't have to do anything. I would just sell houses. Anyway,
Well, I don't think it's illegal. You could do that if you wanted to.
I don't know.
Doesn't sound attractive.
No.
What do you do all day, actually?
No, I was trying to engage.
Yeah,
you
okay,
on
so,
a certain
sorry.
subject
Let's
here.
get it off you then. So you have a storefront that you think would work for Elizabeth?
Not necessarily. I'm just curious. I always want to see what people are doing here in New Orleans, and there's so many new businesses opening up, and what she's talking about is kind of in a boutique vein, I think, maybe, in the sense that it's, you know, it's a specialty item, give or take, depending. But, I mean, it makes me think of a lot of other things, like up until, I don't know, 10 years ago, maybe even less than that, getting small men's clothes, just fitted men's clothes, was very difficult. And unfortunately, the options became things like, you know, American Apparel and H&M and whatnot. But prior to that, if you wanted to get, like, you know, a nice dress shirt and some pants, like, you probably had to have them tailored. I mean, you know, I don't know in general how other people feel about it, but I always felt like it took forever for those brands to come around. So when you talk about petite women's clothes, I know it's a different demographic, but it's still like the same frustration. And especially in New Orleans in the South, I'm just now starting to see a lot of these stores sort of open up, which is a whole other kind of sort of cultural phenomenon. It has to do with the new types of people moving here and whatnot, and the different audiences that we're catering to. But I'm curious, you know, to know how many of your clients are in this city versus around the country.
I think just because I've met so many people here and I've gotten to interact, that I definitely do have customers here, but equal to any other city around the United States. My customers typically are in, you know, California, New York, Chicago, larger cities like that.
Do they have trade
So-
shows like you were talking about here in New Orleans as well, a big convention city and whatnot?
No, but actually there's a movement to start a fashion industry trade group here, kind of spearheaded by the publisher of Amelie G magazine. So that's an exciting thing that just happened this week, actually.
That's great.
Nice.
Where do the shortest people live? What state?
That's an excellent question.
Oh man.
Well, if it's in the
The
census,
shortest people.
Well, shortest per average or shortest like, you know what I'm saying? Like, is it the overall
Oh, right.
mean of height, or is it like?
I would
don't
say
know.
something more like New Orleans, something that's like not cold weather, like where you have to be a big man and go cut wood,
Well,
and you're like.
I mean, I went to school in Santa
you know what
Barbara.
I mean? Like, I feel like is that.
you went to school in Santa
Yeah,
Barbara?
for undergrad school, and we had a
Wow,
place
I
called
wouldn't have left there.
Periwinkle Lane.
Yes.
That was
Periwinkle Lane.
that was a short person street.
Ah.
What?
No,
You
no,
need to look
not
that- you need to
not
look them
petite,
up.
not petite. A short
Oh,
person
right.
street.
Yeah, not your demographic.
A short person.
That's what a
street.
small person street.
Yeah.
You mean what?
What
you-
makes the street a short person
Okay,
street?
meaning it was occupied by people
Dwarfs.
formerly known as midgets,
Okay.
but now they like to be called small people.
And there's
No,
like a
they don't.
segregated part of Santa
No,
Barbara.
literally.
Who
they,
makes their clothes?
They live in Montecito. They probably make them or have them made, but they literally have small houses, small
It's like
doors.
Disney.
So it's like a putt-putt course.
It is, but they hate it when you drive through it. You can't. They don't like visitors at all.
What do they do?
I don't know. I don't visit because I'm respectful of them.
I have never. I have been
People-
to Santa Barbara, and I've never been to.
What's in
How did I not
Montecito?
know
You'd have to
about
drive
this?
up into the hills in Montecito and
How do they find each other? These short people.
Facebook. I don't know.
Facebook. That's it.
You took your
It all
setting
comes
on
back to
short
fa-
person,
yeah.
and it just
By
shows
height.
up.
I thought, but this is not set aside by the Santa Barbara County Council or anything. This is just a bunch of short people sort of got to know each other and said, "Hey, I'm building a little house. I can."
You're
build-"
going over my head now. I gave you what I have. That's
Okay.
it. That's all I got on it. Wikipedia from here. Periwinkle Lane. Check it out.
Yeah, Periwinkle Lane. Oh, that's a good thing. Chris, check it out. Chris is on it. Periwinkle Lane. Okay, but those people are super short, so that's another demographic you could.
Not
be
your
into.
world. Probably.
Not really.
No.
I think.
Not
So here's my
much.
question: Why don't any of these designer stores have like an in-house tailor?
That's pretty. Yeah,
Well, they do. A lot of them do. But
Which
it's
one?
but it's expensive.
Not here, but like
Yeah.
in New York, they have all that
Yeah.
kind of stuff. But it's like it's the premium.
I
See,
mean,
I
Who
feel
wants to
like-
pay that?
Yeah,
Alright.
super premium. But is it?
Yeah.
Could it be? Would it be that expensive for a place like the Banana Republic
No.
New York joint to have like the 3 mirrors and a guy standing right there with his tape measure on his shoulder, like, you like those pants? You just kind of like those pants. Come on, brother. You know, let me, you know.
Yeah.
Well, there are plenty of clothes that actually can't be altered. Like if a dress has a hem that's scalloped lace, or if there's a lot of beading, or things like that. A leather jacket, you can't shorten the sleeves on there.
Well,
So your wardrobe's
then you
gotten
have
a
to
lot
shorten the
bigger since you
side.
started doing this, I'm imagining.
yes.
'Cause you have to
Wonderful.
try this stuff out.
Yeah, absolutely.
People have such different taste, though. I mean, which is not sort of stratified by height. You know, there's a short
That is
person who
true.
loves hippie, looking like a hippie, and there's a short person who wants to look like a corporate executive.
That's true.
Can you cater to both those types of women?
I've tried to, and you know, I bootstrapped this startup, so at this point, I've just tried to have kind of a core collection of more or less classic pieces with a little bit of a little something something.
So
Like this dress is from my shop.
how would you describe it?
This is pretty classic, but it
Sexy.
has a fun
Pattern.
print on it.
I'd say it's Mayan.
A little pink.
It's kind of Mayan.
Or geometric.
Yeah.
Sure, sure. Who was,
But it's a shirt dress and you can wear
geometry
it, you
was
know?
invented by the Mayans. You know, come on.
Good point.
I failed
Full
geometry really bad.
Did you dropped out of Tulane, right?
I don't want to say I dropped out.
We
My
chose not
my
to go back.
funding got cut off. So
She launched out. It
in
was
lieu
like
to
a-
that, I had no choice.
If you search on our website for Miss Mec, MISSMEC, and look back at the last show she did here and listen to, I won't make you tell this whole story again.
Oh, please.
Unless you want to tell
No,
the whole
I
story.
would- I mean-
This is a good opportunity
It's
to
a great
appeal for
story.
an
We don't have to
honorary
go-
degree.
We
I
don't
think
have
you
to
should
go
do that.
over exactly how you funded that operation, but it's a fantastic story about working in a strip club to pay for college. It's
I didn't
a great
strip.
story.
I didn't strip, and I know
Let's
y'all
just-
don't believe that.
Let's just make that
I served
perfectly
drinks.
clear.
Yeah.
Kept your clothes on.
Kept my clothes on. Actually,
You're the
yeah.
only person here today who has hardly any clothes on, interestingly enough.
That would be very interesting in considering that point. But you know, I had about what I have now: dress or corset, stockings, gloves. It was more cabaret, so I actually got to be more classy. And
The classy strip club.
if
Anyway,
you know,
we're
if
not-
a, if
not
a
gonna
club
make you tell
could,
that whole
right?
story again.
Yeah.
But anyway, where do you buy shoes?
You know what? I don't buy many shoes.
Why? Why is it?
I have two sisters,
Oh.
so
Yeah. And they have 1 foot each, and they each
pretty.
give their extra
Well,
shoes.
my one sister got pregnant, so like her feet got really big, and she gave me some shoes.
Did they return to their normal size after she had a baby?
Yeah, but I didn't. You know,
You didn't get the
once
shoes
you can't
back.
be an Indian giver. You can't be like, hey, here's.
She didn't realize that
shoes.
she was only going to be pregnant for 9 months or something, and then her feet will return to their
Well,
normal size.
and when
Is she a
you're
little-
pregnant, you don't think things through. I don't. You
And
know,
you took
just-
advantage of that. And
Absolutely.
Stole her shoes. Nice. Where does she live, your sister?
She lives in the lower Ninth Ward, actually, over in
Okay.
Holy Cross on Desolin Street.
And what did she say when she had the baby and her feet returned to the normal size and she had no shoes?
Well, I came in. She's like, "Damn, those look good on you. I want them back." I'm like, "Sorry, you're gonna get pregnant again," and then she's pregnant again.
She is, so that's nice. When's the baby due this time?
The baby is a baby girl, and she's due in March.
Okay.
So we're all very excited.
Has she consequently bought any more shoes and given them to you then?
No, I think she's now second guessing now due to the fact that she might want to wear them again after she's pregnant.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't really, I tend to do a lot of secondhand things in the sense of shoes.
Secondhand shoes, that's kind of gross.
If it's in the family. I mean, not
Oh.
sandals. I mean, not like sandals and stuff. I mean, like, shoes that you have to wear socks with. So tennis shoes and boots.
Wait, why
Yeah.
are sandals worse? Just because of the socks?
Well, because
specifically?
because then it's like if you're sharing sandals, yeah, it's more of the toe jam and all that stuff in there.
I ain't too proud.
Right.
No,
Hey, Andrew, you want to play something?
I'll play something.
Okay,
You
well-
have to talk amongst yourselves. I gotta go.
Okay, you gotta get the guitar out of the case and so on. So when we come back from listening to Andrew, I really want to ask you about. Wow, nice. Daiquiri store culture, because I love that phrase. Daiquiri store culture. Just give us a sort of a thumbnail about what that is.
Well, it's daiquiri shop culture.
Oh, sorry, Daiquiri shop culture.
I mean, it's not my thing. I'm just saying. I'm correcting you on behalf of Louisiana. But
thank you very much.
no problem. It's just something I do. But
Okay.
what is it? It's I think it's the culture surrounding the mini daiquiri shops we have all throughout the state.
Are they anywhere else in America besides here?
Yeah, but in a kind of different form. I mean, they are in Cuba, for instance.
Cuba.
Was that where
Yeah.
it originated?
That is where the original daiquiri, which is far flung from what we have now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not a frozen drink, but nevertheless, that's where the word comes from. And that's where it originated. And then Hemingway, of course, jumped on board and was a big fan, made his own version.
Beautiful.
Hey,
But,
you said something interesting. Where does the word come from? What does it mean?
Okay, I hope I get this right. I believe it's, I know it's not right, but I want to say it's Onehil. It's the indigenous tribe that lived in Daiquiri Bay prior to the Spanish occupation of Cuba. And the word is from their language, but it's now an extant language, and we don't know specifically what it meant. But that's why it came from there, because Jennings Cox, who was an importer and a military man, among other things, was one part of many people running a mining facility there. And supposedly, there's various stories, but they ran out of gin or preferred something else and tried combining the Cuban rum, which is a local thing there, with lime and some crushed ice, and came up with the daiquiri. But most cocktails are like that for the most part. I mean, the margarita, the daiquiri, they're all the same formula. It's just take the booze, you add a little sweetener, a little citrus, and that's about it.
So that's the word. That's where the word came from, and the drink itself came from Cuba.
Yeah, but like most things in New Orleans, when it gets here, we just decide what it is.
We fix it up.
Yeah.
Did it come straight here? Because when Cuba to New Orleans is a pretty straight shot at one point.
No, it had to do with Roosevelt and the Friendly Neighbor Act and opening up to Cuba early on in the 20th century, and being receptive to Cuban trade, and it became very popular with the Admirals Club, and so many people were drinking it because it had become popularized in Havana. And by the time it became popular with Roosevelt, supposedly, then it spread to the kind of posher clubs and bars throughout the country. But New Orleans, since the inception of the country, has been one of the most, aggressive forerunners of cocktail culture, embraced it. As far as the frozen daiquiri, well, that's a longer story. Should probably wait till after the
Okay, we'll let Andrew play a song, and then we'll come back and talk about where the frozen daiquiri and those giant things that look like sort of washing machines.
Those
come
are
from.
washing
They
machines.
are, in fact, washing machines.
Those
Oh,
are
that's
washing
right.
machines,
What are you playing?
Oh man, I'm playing something brand new that isn't done yet. One of
Good.
those-
That was
I
the,
hate that. I hate even
that
to
was
say
the original intention of
I
this
know,
whole thing, remember?
I know, and yeah. So here it goes.
Okay.
Well, the heart of a man is a runaway train, rolling on cold cigarettes and cocaine, burning off his freedom at a speed he can't sustain. Oh, the heart of a man is a runaway train. Oh, the heart of a man is a runaway train. And a good-hearted woman does the best he can to show a simpler way to her man. Still he dreams of leaving her on the platform, just crying in the rain. Pick up steam and yell back forward, say I'm sorry, I can't explain. It's just the heart of a man is a runaway train. Got no ropes or chains around, no, nothing ties me down. Oh, westward is the only way I'm bound. But when I find true love, you'll know it. You better hold tight to the reins, 'cause the heart of a man is a runaway train. Oh, the heart of a man is a runaway train. My knuckles tied against the throttle, wishing a gentle voice would call my name. Wrapped his soft hands around mine, slow the blood coursing through my veins. Ain't no savior ever reigned me, he's days they don't even come around. It's gonna take a woman like you to slow this train down. So if you've got love, show me love, baby. If I've got that love to hold tight these reins, 'cause the heart of a man is a runaway train. Oh, the heart of a man is a runaway train.
Oh.
Wow.
Thanks.
Okay. Is that still not finished? What would you have to do to that?
Oh, I was just thinking about some arrangement things that, I could put some things different places and make it more effective, I think. So, yeah, we'll see.
What makes it sound so nice, the arrangement you've got, is that simple sort of driving train type sound though, right?
Yeah, that exists, yes.
I love that. That's a beautiful song, Andrew.
Thanks, man.
Nice, isn't it? Don't you think, Jeremy?
Very
JF?
much so.
Yeah.
We
What-
talked about that.
No more JF. What do you listen to at home?
I actually listen to pretty much whatever my fiance wants to listen to. She's a DJ, so
She's
she
a
has
DJ.
a huge vinyl
She
collection.
knows what's going on.
Fortunately, it's good stuff. But I listen to a lot of country and old R&B and soul, stuff like that.
She's a DJ in the sense of she spins records in clubs and so on, or on the radio?
No, not on the radio, but she does in clubs and bars and
What's
restaurants.
her name? Do we know her?
DJ Bunny.
DJ Bunny, what a great
She
name.
spins
What-
at One Eye Jacks and at Tiki Tolteca.
How did you guys meet?
I guess I met her when I moved here. I used to go to a monthly night that I've always loved. It was the first night I ever discovered New Orleans years ago before I moved here, called Alligator Chomp Chomp. It was it's a kind of a, what do they call it, swamp pop night mixed with R&B and soul and some funk and some other things. And she was kind of the protege of the DJ that DJs that night in my dance party, DJ Maddie. And I met her through that, and she was always nice to me. We were friends for
Most people
couple
are not
years.
nice to you.
I probably don't make it easy, but nevertheless,
Really?
yeah.
Why?
They're not always interviewing me. You know?
Well, people are not nice to you generally, though.
No, I would say that, I mean, they do their part.
And you're not nice.
I just don't really think about it.
You seem like a nice enough person.
I feel that way.
Yeah. Why do you think you come across as not nice to people?
I don't know. I have other things on my mind.
What are you thinking about right now?
How to make the most out of this program.
What would that be exactly, though?
I don't know. That's why I'm thinking about it.
Well, if you come to a conclusion, I'd love to know.
Well, you'll know.
Because we love to make the most of it, too.
Sure.
We're just sort of, we haven't got really a plan for it. If you can come up with a plan of how we could make
That's
the
all
most.
I do
Could
is
we
plan.
Really, is it?
Yeah.
Are you like a thinker,
Do you want
strategic
to hire
thinker?
me? I could do that. Sure.
Yes. Do you need to be paid? Because that would be a problem right there.
Okay. I get double whatever you get.
Okay, that's perfect.
right.
Okay, yes,
That's
you're
what I tell
on. You're
everybody I
hired.
hire, right?
You're hired.
Okay.
So this is what you do. You're a marketing person.
Marketing and programming, yeah.
So you're actually thinking all the time about how you can push something and make it successful, make it bigger.
This is what I did in New York and LA and San Francisco, but I hated it, and it drove me to the only place that I actually cared about, which was the city.
Yeah.
And decided I was going to make a home here and buy a home here and then put down roots and make something of it. And the difference is that when I do it here, I do it for things that I think are worth a damn.
Right. Which is what?
Which is, I think, well, booze for one, that's a big part of it. I mean, people underestimate those things that we attribute to festivities, but really they are the life and soul of those things that allow us to I guess they're the kind of lubricant between us and you know, our sort of hard selves and our everyday selves dealing with emotions and hurt and whatnot, and the rest of reality of being able to enjoy ourselves and enjoy other people at any given time. And this city does a good job of putting us in close proximity to strangers and each other on a regular basis. And I feel like things like programming, when done well, can be a great source of salvation while we're still alive.
Amen.
And awake, by the way, Miss Mick. Did you hear that? Alive and awake. What do you mean by programming? Parties.
Any events, yeah. It could be as simple as a dance party. It could be a full-blown event like a festival. It could be a spectacle that's put on. There's really no limit to programming. Programming is just a utilitarian, kind of inefficient, but it's what we have kind of word, a tool to work with to talk about what we do when we try to book events, places, and put a conscience behind it, put a mentality behind it.
What did you sell when you were in these other places in New York and San Francisco?
I worked for spirit companies.
So that was booze as
liquor
well.
brands. Yeah.
So
but
you've been able to make a living out of selling booze?
I worked mainly for vodka companies, and I've always said this: if you can sell vodka, which basically is a flavorless and aromaless liquid, then you can sell anything. You're selling smoke and mirrors. But that mentality, unfortunately, became dubious and troubling in that environment because it was so competitive and it was about who you worked for. When I came down here, I worked for a venue called Eiffel Society. I did their programming and marketing for the first year of their existence.
That's the Eiffel Tower.
The club on St. Charles.
On St. Charles,
That's right.
What was your? Do you like that place personally?
Well, I haven't been there in a year, to be fair.
Okay, yeah.
I still have some contacts there, so I try to be as diplomatic as possible, but I don't know what they're doing these days. But at the time, we tried to do some very unusual programming and get the thing off the ground in an unusual way, and it was a beast to sort of...
Were you the guy who did they had parties there on Friday nights or something? Or like a big...
Well, they tried to have parties every night.
Was that you? Did you do that?
Well, I don't know. It depends when you're asking me about.
I can't remember. It was a couple of years ago. I can't remember. There was like a push to try and make it happening again
Yeah,
because it
that
was
would've been
happening
in-
for a while.
We were doing different arts events there. We had a whole concept of how to develop it in a kind of unusual way based on the different components of what I felt this city represented, and that is the service industry, the arts industry, the music industry, and entrepreneurship.
So were you a part of Raw?
No, Rock came after me.
Okay.
What's that?
Raw is a showcase of a mixture of different artists throughout the city, fashion designers, musicians, painters. But I don't know. I performed at it. I wasn't too happy about it, but not to say that my experience means anything. But yeah, so they were hosting different. It was like basically a big art case for different.
In the Eiffel Tower building, whatever that's called. Is
Yeah,
it called
the Eiffel
Tower?
Society.
Eiffel
Yeah.
Society.
Eiffel Society.
I'm going there tonight.
Are you for
Oh,
what?
that's
I
crazy.
am.
For Raw?
No, the the Silicon Bayou News is having their top 100 entrepreneurs.
Are you in that?
Very
And
cool.
Are you one of the
people-
top 100 entrepreneurs in New
know.
Orleans?
I don't think so.
Soon to be.
Are they going to reveal that
Soon
tonight?
to be. Yes.
So you went through the Idea Village Idea Accelerator program.
Yes.
And it says here in front of me, which I don't know if any of this is true, of course, that's why you came back here. Is that true? From San Diego?
That was a big reason, yes.
How did you
Yes.
get hooked up with that? Did you apply online or something for that? And they just said you're in and you moved here?
I graduated from Loyola University a lot of years ago. 11 years ago.
Congratulations.
And
You look
thank
so good.
What did you
Must be
did-
because you're so
Thank you.
petite.
what did you have a degree in?
Marketing and international business.
Uh-huh.
And I
And
was
what did
living
you do
in
with it after that? You moved to San Diego?
Nothing. No, I'm just kidding. I actually started my first business in 2006.
What was that?
And it was an environmentally friendly cleaning company. And I did that for 5 years in
Like
San Diego.
Janitorial?
Mm-hmm.
House
Yep.
cleaning or business cleaning?
Yes.
Using
cleaning
a lot of
houses,
lemons and oranges.
basically.
That's a pretty
That's
smart
what I
idea.
use.
You,
It
you
was
clean with
good.
oranges and lemons?
It was all natural, non-toxic. And we're the second company to do that in San Diego. And so I did that for 5 years and discovered it was not my passion. So I sold it in 2011.
It's funny because you think you'd
And,
really be into cleaning. Who's got a passion for cleaning unless you've got a mental problem?
Right.
Really? I mean, seriously. Does
I
anybody
didn't-
have a passion for cleaning? Are you supposed to
I
have
actually did not like cleaning.
No.
When I started the company, it was more like I saw a hole in the market
Right.
and knew that needed to be an option.
But you like short people.
What?
You have a passion for short people.
I do. I do.
Do you have
Cleaning
a
and short
boyfriend or a
people.
girlfriend or a partner of some sort?
I'm dating.
And
We'll
what
say.
height is the person?
What? Taller.
Taller than you. Okay.
Taller.
Well,
Short girls like taller guys, I think. Yeah.
Yes, they do.
Petite
yeah,
girls
he's,
want
a,
a-
he's a taller gentleman.
he's a taller gentleman. Really? Is that true that shorter women are attracted to taller men? I mean, not
For-
tall, but
Relatively
tall.
speaking, or tall
Yeah.
for a man.
Isn't that
Exactly.
kind of a de facto?
Well, that's
law?
yeah,
It
but I mean,
is.
tall as in taller than
Yeah,
average.
that's cliche.
Taller than 5 feet.
Well, that
Preferably a guy would be taller than me in heels, which is 5'3".
So you'd like to see him in
So-
heels? Or?
No, that you're not taller than that. You're not
Just
taller than
wondering.
him in heels, right?
I don't want to tower over him when I'm wearing 3-inch heels.
Right.
how tall is this guy you're dating?
When you're in heels.
You don't have to tell us his name. What's embarrassing about?
Too soon.
Well, I wasn't- okay, we don't want to go. Any, does he know you're dating him?
It is New Orleans.
does now.
No.
He does now. No,
I
come
hope
on.
so.
Okay. So it's not that serious yet, or is it?
I don't know.
We don't know. Okay, well, I think we're going down a bad
Is he
road
coming
here.
to the Eiffel Society with you tonight?
Maybe.
Mm-hmm.
Sounds
Who's
like
asking?
yes. It sounds like yes. So, is there a chance you're going to be named one of New Orleans' 100 most influential entrepreneurs? Or
I feel like
you're the
they would have
shortest.
told me if that were. I should get an award for that.
God damn
shouldn't
it!
I?
You should. Is there a
Gosh,
category for
damn it.
shortest?
I don't think so.
So you think they would have told you? Surely they wouldn't have told you. That's what they wanted you to go along for, so you can find out if you've won. Isn't it? Otherwise, only 100 people would show up.
Right.
Like, shit, I didn't win. I'm not going to the fucking thing.
Right.
I've got better things to do. I'm going to go ahead and Miss Mac play tonight.
Yeah.
So
Well,
you might have
that's
won,
at 11,
Elizabeth.
so.
You might have won.
11:30.
11:30 you go on? That's what time you start?
That's what time I
What
start,
goes...
baby.
Okay,
So I could do both.
Jeremy, you can answer this question too. Why in New Orleans do we have to have gigs that start at 11:30?
I don't make
Andrew,
the
you can
rules.
weigh it.
Ask the bar.
I don't make the
like an
rules
hour
either. I
after
think
my
it's called supply and
bedtime.
demand.
You think all of us want to go out at 11:30? What is everyone else doing till 11:30?
Depends on the music or
It's the people that are paying, how much they have to pay, what time they want to go out.
Or people that don't
okay.
have jobs in the morning,
But
which is a
most
lot of
people-
people in New Orleans.
It's not enough people to make a living for you out of them. There's tons of people when you go out and gigs start at 11. It's supposed to start at 11:30.
I have a whole series of gigs that run from 8 to midnight if you prefer that.
I prefer something that starts at like 5 as the early bird.
Well, they open at
It's the
5.
early
You can
bird
come
special.
early. Yeah.
What are you doing from 8 till midnight, really?
What's that?
Which gigs? What are you doing?
The Tiki Tolteca, we have a number of, Onoko, my company, does a number of things. It's marketing and programming, like I mentioned, and the Daiquiri Fest is kind of our own initiative, but the rest of our jobs are client-based. And one of our clients recently is Tiki Tolteca. They're a
It's a
tiki.
great name, Tiki
Yeah,
Tolteca.
It's kind of a Latin tiki bar as a concept. They're owned and operated by Felipe's. If you've ever been to any of the Felipe's in the city, they're
Yeah.
upstairs above the Felipe's down on North Peters. And they started a tiki bar, started as a pop-up, and then I came on and we started doing Tuesdays through Thursdays. Like on Wednesdays we do a free burlesque night. And then on Thursdays we do a dance party where my fiance DJ Bunny spins all vinyl, exotica, lounge, rockabilly, all that kind of stuff.
That sounds great.
I feel like
I
I
think
will
you
be
just
there.
figured out how to make the most of the show. Good job. It took you
I was waiting. I was waiting for
53
my
minutes,
opportunity.
but you did it.
Sold.
That's great. Tiki Tolteca upstairs from Felipe's on North Peters Street in the French Quarter.
Yeah, that's
Tuesday,
tonight.
Wednesday,
Again,
and
it's
Thursday
free.
nights. It's free Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday night.
Yeah.
I love the
If you
sound
mention
of
this
that.
radio program, I'll give you a free drink token.
Hey.
Hey,
Wow.
you'll see
Nice.
me.
Okay. A free drink token. And what are you smoking? Is that some sort of weed-based item?
I wish it was.
We would be passing
We've been
it.
through this.
Yeah, this is the last
We've
show.
been through
This
this.
is my effort to
You can
stop
get
smoking.
you can get weed in these things, now. We found
Really?
this
I
out
know
last
you could
week.
get it.
Yes.
I know you could make it. I've watched a few e-how videos, but I haven't tried it myself.
So like
but
it's
Use a
what is
sock.
how do you it's like
well, it's vegetable glycerin they use. So if you were able to mix one oil with the other, just like you would with cooking and stuff.
so
you
it's
could-
an oil base.
It is.
Yeah.
Well, it's glycerin based, but I mean the oil. I don't know. I guess the heat would change. I'm no specialist in it, but right now, for now, the main point is to not smoke cigarettes.
Yeah, but the main point is that you've looked up on YouTube how to make pot
No,
based.
e-how.
E-how.
Let's be
Oh, sorry.
specific.
Sorry. E-how. I didn't even know there was such a thing as e-how, but I can understand that there is. Well, it's like a YouTube for
It's a
how to do
how-to.
stuff.
Yeah.
Okay, and so how do you do it?
Um,
You have to buy the weed first.
I mean, like I said, I've watched it, but I didn't.
I know, but how do they suggest you do it? You get marijuana and then you reduce it somehow?
I
or what?
kind of tuned out at that point.
Yeah, they got as far as the
Like,
weed,
oh,
and
yeah,
that was,
you know,
right. Too much work.
Yeah, exactly.
I hear you. Let's make Miss Mick play another song for us.
That
What do you
sounds
think?
good.
All right.
It's warming up in here, by
I'm
the way.
gonna
isn't
play
it?
a weed song. No, I'm joking.
Oh, nice. Okay. All right. Well, that's what I call comedy.
Yeah.
What are you going to play, really?
Don't want to let you down.
All right.
Are you going for a ride, my babe? Got me way uptown with you, babe. The lights are loud and I'm trying to sleep, but I don't wanna let you down. I don't wanna let you down. When I take a look in your eyes, my babe, exactly what I'm searching for, my babe. We got each other's backs and that's okay. I'm never gonna let you down. I'm never never gonna let you down. Being by your side makes me feel alright. Morning, noon, and night, you make me feel alright. It doesn't really matter what people say. I'm gonna love you, my baby, in any old way. Even when there's a lot on your plate, you got your doubts and you go without today. To tell the truth means to bear it all, my babe. I don't wanna let you down. I don't wanna let you down. Where are you going tonight, my babe? I can't sleep when you're so far away. It doesn't matter what people say, I'm never gonna let you down. I'm never gonna let you down. I'm never gonna let you down.
Yeah. Okay, Miss Mick, was that written about a guy that everyone said you shouldn't be dating?
Yeah, my mom.
Your mom didn't ever liked him?
No.
What happened to him?
He actually got married.
He let you down, huh?
Yeah. It's all right. It's what happens, right?
He got married to somebody else, not you, I assume.
Yeah.
It's okay. Really? Were you in love with him? Like, was it serious?
He was like my high school sweetheart, and
What high school was this in?
it was in Slidell, in the North Shore, but
Slidell High or Salmon?
Slidell High.
Slidell High.
And actually, Katrina happened. His mom took me in, let me live there for a while till I finished school, and then I went to Tulane, and that kind of separated us because I wanted, experience.
So you left him in the dust.
I left him, and he asked me to marry him, and I said no. I was 18, so I wanted to live a little bit.
That's how they do that in Slidell, though, because it's very close to Mississippi.
It is very close to Mississippi, and it's it's a very small suburban area, and so a lot of people that I went to school with settled down and got married and had kids, which is beautiful and great. But I just wanted something else.
You wanted to work in a strip club.
I wanted to work in a strip club. No, yeah. I wanted to go to school and just figure out what I wanted to do, which is what led me to music. Ironically, going to Tulane is what brought me into music here in New Orleans. So if I wouldn't have made that change.
But you wrote that song about him after you'd found music, which is after he'd already got married to somebody else, I assume. So you must have been carrying something around for this guy all this time.
Absolutely. Well, I mean, just in the sense of it's interesting to know somebody and then you go through a change and you still know his family and the support that they give you. So, I'll always have respect for him as a person and who he is. And so it was just kind of the way I deal with it. It's writing about it. Yeah.
Yeah. When you play that song, do you think about him?
Absolutely.
What's his name and what's his address?
Yeah.
Does he still live in Slidell?
He does.
Well,
Yeah.
I think this thing's going to put things in perspective in the sense of how many Slidell housewives have you had on this show?
0.
I don't know. We're not keeping those statistics. I don't think.
There's
exactly.
a lot then. It's too many to count.
We don't ask people whether they're housewives or not.
Really?
I don't
You
think so.
talk about their initials, but not that, huh?
No, why? Because look at the initials. See, it's written on the thing here. It says Jeremy J.F.
No,
Thompson.
I've seen them.
But that must be where'd that come from? Who gave me that? Where's that? Why is that? Is it on the internet?
It is on the
Do
internet.
you send that to someone like on our show that your name is Jeremy J.F. Thompson?
I did, didn't I?
Thank you. No further questions. Why don't you take the J.F. out of it? Then nobody will ever mention it.
They really
again.
don't pay you to do this? Come on.
No, we get paid a lot of money to do
All
this.
right, see, yeah.
But why do
I
you
get twice as much.
why-
We talked about this.
You're getting twice as much as me now. You're on
Yeah,
staff.
yeah.
Why do you keep the JF in there then if you don't want it in there? Seriously, just that's my last
Really?
final,
The
my final
answer is-
serious
The
question.
answer is the most utilitarian thing you could think of.
Ink.
Searchability.
Yeah, actually, it narrows your searches.
Don't change.
Very interesting.
You own
So-
everything you do, and you take it with you because it's the value you have. on the internet.
That's very interesting that you figured that out, because there's other people called Grant Morris. There's tons of people called Grant Morris. There's Mr.
That's why I did Miss Mac.
Miss Mac
Because
is...
there's tons of
are you-
people named Michelle. I'm like, fuck.
What's your real name, Michelle?
Michelle Elaine Cunningham, which that's the
That's
initials.
common as hell. I see. That's
Absolutely.
where Mac and Michelle Elaine.
So which is why I
okay.
did Mac, because if
Right.
you type in Mac, you only get like the Mississippi Economic
But have
Council.
you researched the other people with your name? Have you all done this? You've seen the
Yes.
other people with your name?
Yeah.
right?
Absolutely.
I have a lot of
them.
I don't want to be
Competition.
them either. It's like fucking some pageant girl and like winning
Really?
a crown. Yes.
Michelle Cunningham, the pageant girl.
Mine's a
Elizabeth-
British newscaster. It's terrible.
Yeah, right. It's like
Mine is Mr. Gay Wales,
Okay.
the country.
Okay.
Hey, he's great looking, this guy. Check him out, Grant Morris, Mr.
Maybe
Gay
you want
Wales.
that, though. You'd like
I
that.
wouldn't mind being mistaken for him.
No, I know.
Mine's
I'm
a
not Welsh.
world-renowned linguist, a
Really?
linguistics professor from San Diego, coincidentally.
Elizabeth Bates from San Diego, world-renowned linguist.
Is she really tall, or is she like average?
yeah, she
I
could
had
be
to do
too.
it.
I could not answer that.
Hate her.
She has since passed.
Oh, we're sorry.
But
Well, you could impersonate her. Do you hate tall people? Do they piss you off?
no, I love all people.
Hey, so you don't hate anybody, Elizabeth. Let's just get that straight in case
I
you
only,
are
I
entrepreneur
only
of the
hate
year.
people who do me wrong.
Who are they right now before we have to get out of here? So what are the first three names that come to
I
mind?
really only have one.
Who is it?
Come on. This is
My
good.
ex-husband. That's it.
Oh, you have an ex-husband. Okay, very nice.
All right.
The plot thickens.
What did he do to earn the moniker of ex-husband?
What didn't he do, Grant?
Thank
Exactly.
you, Mac. Okay.
Oh God, why am I answering this? He liked women very much.
Right.
Oh,
What
Sorry.
size?
girl, that's the
Wife.
worst.
Average.
Actually, petite.
Petite.
Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah. He
So
had a thing
he's-
for petite women.
Okay. Well, that will certainly
I was only
end a
one of
marriage,
them.
most marriages, pretty quickly if you're, got a string of petite women.
Yes.
That will do it.
Right.
And how long ago was that? Just before you moved back or ages ago?
I think it's been like 2 years now.
Mm-hmm.
Pretty sure.
How long
Yeah.
were you married for?
A whopping year and 2 months.
Oh, so you've been unmarried for longer than... The guy couldn't even stay with you for a year and 2 months before he started cheating on you?
We were together for a total of 5 years, so I can't say where.
Where the cheating started.
Yeah.
How did you bust him, just, on behalf of all men?
So you know how to not get busted?
Yeah, how did it happen? Was Facebook involved?
Jerry
It
Springer.
was actually
Facebook.
Jerry Springer and Facebook.
Jerry Springer. How did you... Where did Jerry Springer
I don't know.
come
I
from?
used to love watching that
But
show.
he has been gone for
Oh,
years.
he has been.
I
Is
just
he
wish I
dead?
could have known I could have gotten this kind of free therapy. I would have started earlier.
You have something you'd like
I got
to
an
discuss?
ex-wife. I can cover
We
all this
can, we
stuff.
can easily keep going for another 10 minutes. No one's going to kick us out. Hugo's not kicking us out
No,
yet.
I don't like time limits. I would have been happy earlier. But
We
no,
want to do
no,
another
no,
show?
no.
I'm going to come back and do another show. Graham,
Don't
our
sleep
producer's-
through your show. Don't sleep
Yeah,
through it.
yeah. We can do a whole show about your ex-wife if you'd like.
No.
Half a show.
So what's your
That's my
advice to
final
people that
offer.
aren't married yet?
Who, my advice?
Yeah.
I don't have any advice. Are you still single? Are you
Mm.
looking to get married?
No, I just want what's with the what's some
That's
good
a-
advice about
Don't pay attention to timelines. Don't have a timeline. Just be happy.
What sort of advice are you looking for? About what? How to be happy? How to be married?
what are the good what should you be looking for in a marriage that can keep it strong?
Geez, I think you got the wrong people.
Okay, well there you go. That's why we all live in New Orleans.
Yeah, we don't have a good record.
I don't think there's anyone at this table could help you with that.
No.
But there may be somebody listening who could write in
Well,
to Miss Meg
Yeah.
at Facebook.com
.com.
and tell you what was the secret. I don't know if anyone knows the secret to being happily
Well,
married.
maybe what's worked for them.
I think it's the same thing as the secret of being happy by yourself. Either way.
Well, that's a good point.
I mean, I'm engaged at this point, and I'm happy about that, and I don't expect all my happiness to come from my marriage. Yeah, but I mean,
Well, that's why there's
I hope
vodka.
for the best, but at the same time, I just have to be happy being alive and doing what I'm doing.
Word.
I think that's a good note to end on, don't you?
Yep.
I'm just going to have to be happy being alive doing what I'm doing. Thank you very much. Jeremy Thompson, Elizabeth Bates, Miss Mick, Andrew Duhon, everybody here.
And Grant Morris.
Happy Hour. Thank you very much.
Thank
It's
you.
been a great hour.
JF.
That is Happy Hour for today. Our show is produced by Graham DePonte. Our associate producer and technical director is Chris Kehoe. Christian Unruh was the guy who booked Miss Mac and all the other music guests on our show. Our theme song that you're currently listening to was written and is being played by Mitch Foreman. The fabulous audio quality of most of the show is brought to you in part by PreSonus Audio Electronics. PreSonus makes some of the best audio recording and live sound products around, including Studio One music production software, Studio Live digital mixing consoles. I don't know why I always have trouble saying that for some reason. Era Studio monitors and much more. You can visit PreSonus.com for more details about that. If you'd like to be on our show, you'd like to sit around here and have a free cocktail, drop us a line. Our address is on our website, where you can also check out our other shows. Happy Hour. Well, this is Happy Hour, isn't it?
Yeah, this is.
Oh, yeah, okay. There's plenty of other happy hours to listen to, along with Out to Lunch with Peter Raschuti live from Commander's Palace, Mindset with psychiatrist Dr. Nick Pajic, True to the Game with Chris True and Tammy Nelson, Vietnam, or our show about the New Orleans Vietnamese community with the Vietnamese Terry Gross, Kim Vu. At midnight, Menu Plus One with Margot Moss and the man who ate New Orleans, Ray Canada. You can keep up with us on Facebook, Twitter, and a bunch of other time-sucking social media on all of it where it's New Orleans. If you listen to this on iTunes, Stitcher, or some other podcast app, thank you for subscribing. Take a moment, if you would, to rate and review us. That helps other people find us. Our show is recorded live today at the fabulous Casa Borrega. Thank you. If you listen to this before Saturday, the 14th of December, check out the Latin Jazz Festival here at Casa Borrega. If you listen to it after that, come down and have a drink or follow them on Facebook and Twitter and find out what's going on. Happy Hour is a production of INO Broadcasting for itsneworleans.com. For Andrew Duhon, everybody back at INO, everyone here sitting around the table at Happy Hour Casa Borrega. Thanks for joining us. I'm Grant Morris. We'll see you back here next time on Happy Hour.
I can't believe it.
That Gerald is presenting the quarterly budget report with finger puppets?
Look, here comes a 1.7% decrease in fixed overhead. Hello, everybody.
No, I can't believe how easy it was to save hundreds of dollars on my car insurance with Geico.
Who are you? The projected increase in organic Q3 revenue. Hooray!
Believe it, Geico could save you 15% or more on car insurance.